Hello, how are you today? Today I have an experiment. When I was in Las Vegas, I used a 2-camera setup, and I also used somebody to edit my videos for me. It is my second cousin Bear who is editing my videos for me, and he is awesome. He is doing a great job, and this is a learning process for both of us. So thank you for bearing with us. Just want to give it a little bit more production value. I find that too many times I end up shielding my face with the mirror, and by having a 2-camera setup, hopefully I will not do that as often. So today's video is really just experimenting. So come along with an experiment. A week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, I bought a bunch of makeup at CVS so that I could do a get ready with me using all drugstore makeup that is cruelty free. And I shot a video, and then I had to scrap the video because I had a lighting issue, and it was just non-salvageable. So today is not going to be 100% drugstore cruelty free. It's going to be 95% drugstore cruelty free. But I cannot find my freaking mascara. So I'm going with an IT Cosmetics mascara. So that is the only thing that is not coming from the drugstore today. So let's get going. Not doing a very dramatic look because, as I said, this is really just an experiment to see if we can do this 2-camera setup. Does it work? And learning what we need to do to correct it. So my foundation today is going to be, I still have a little bit of the spray tan from when I went to Las Vegas, and I found that the best foundation when I was in Las Vegas with my spray tan was the e.l.f. Tinted Moisturizer in a beige tone, a medium tone. I'm gonna mix that with an e.l.f. foundation that I picked up a couple of weeks ago, and this is an oil-free satin finish, and the color is impossible for me to read, but I will drop it down below. I'm gonna be mixing those two foundations. A lot of the products that I'm using today are e.l.f., and that's a terrific product for those who want, oh geez, how do I get that open? Yeah, like that. Ow. Don't twist this, it just lifts off. If you twist it, you will hurt your hand, like I just did. Ow. We're off to a fine start, huh? I have been a huge fan of e.l.f. products. They're really, really reasonably priced, very affordable, and I love the fact that e.l.f. products are cruelty-free. Using my little stainless steel palette, get some of that, and because I'm afraid this may be a little light right now, I'm gonna mix in some of the Tinted Moisturizer. So you can see I just used a little glob of each of the two colors, and I'm mixing it together. It's so funny when I put on my foundation like this, because I get made up by pros all the time, and there is not a single pro in the business that puts foundation on like this. But I think that's how most of us do it in real life. For under my eyes, I'm going to use the NYX Dark Circle Corrector. It doesn't have quite the opacity of the Joe Blasco Orange Highlight 1 that I'm using, but it is cruelty-free, and available at the drugstore. So very affordable. I'm using an e.l.f. setting powder, which has long been a favorite of mine. It's a great drugstore dupe for the RCMA. However, the RCMA is a professional no-color powder that does not have flashback. One of the drawbacks of the e.l.f. is that it has flashback. That means if you powder a little under your eyes and you go out in front of a flash, you may see some white powder. So that's something to be careful of with this particular powder. If you're not planning on being photographed or under a flash, don't worry about it. It does come with a little puff, and obviously I have applied with the little puff. I prefer to use a puff that I can just throw in the wash. Many people prefer to use a powder brush, and that is certainly okay. Sometimes I use a powder brush, sometimes I use a puff. I change my mind about everything all the time. e.l.f. Total Face Palette. This is fun because it's got pretty much everything in. I'm blocking myself everywhere. It's got pretty much everything you need. This is great for travel. Hopefully that's not blinding you. Great because it's got a highlighter, it's got a couple of shades of blush, and a contour slash bronzer. I don't really do a lot of contouring, but I do hit a little bit just to give the face some shape and keep it from looking like completely blank. I think everyone knows by now I don't go for that heavily contoured look, but a little bit. I am using an e.l.f. brush, and I'm using this dark shade, just as I do when I'm using my bronzing powder. I'm gonna basically do a 3 around my temple, right under the cheekbone, and then right under the jaw. I usually tap it on first because as somebody who's very fair, a little goes a long way on me, and I've ended up looking bruised more times than I can count because I just immediately stroked. And I'm gonna go in with I'm gonna start with the lighter blush and see if we need the darker blush. I'm just using a brush set that I picked up somewhere downtown LA. It's a no-name brush set, cost me about 10 bucks. I feel like that light color is plenty. Desperately in need of a haircut again, so that is why you're seeing my, oh gosh, Monique needs a haircut hairdo, which is up and out of the way. Let's hit that with a little highlight. There's some same highlighter in this same palette. It's funny, when I edit the videos or when I look at the videos, I can really see the highlighter a lot more than I can in person. So I think that is something good to note. If you are applying highlighter, be aware that you might not be able to see how much bling you're getting from that highlighter. Got to get some lips on because I can't stand staring at myself without lips. This is a NYX pencil, and I cannot read the words on this NYX lip pencil. I'm going to fill in my entire lip with it because the gloss that I have to put on is pretty sheer. So I'm using this as my main lip color. I always seem to get that point more pointy than this point. I have like a little wrinkle right there, and so everything kind of dips in. Again, not a method I ever see professional makeup artists doing, but I do it all the time. My lip gloss is very sheer. It's by Milani, or Milani, and it is called Prismatic Peach. My eyeshadow is also e.l.f. You saw me using this palette a lot in Las Vegas. It's one that I picked up at CVS. It is their Mad for Matte, and it is Summer Breeze. And I just really liked all these colors. I just thought that was a really fun palette, a good basic palette. In the crease, I'm gonna go for this tone. I'll tell you, the eyelids get softer and softer all the time, and I can see them moving around when I'm putting on eyeshadow, and it's annoying. Also seems to get squared up right there because it hits the skin. I gotta figure out how to deal with that. I'm gonna soften around the edges of that with this very pale vanilla color. You know I go for really simple eye makeup, guys. I know, not a very complex look, pretty basic. I have a Milani pencil in 33, it looks like, something, I can't read it, I don't have glasses. Again, I'll drop all the information down below for you in the description box. But this is a dark brown in Milani. They don't have a huge extensive line, they've got a black, they've got a brown, and this is sort of a blackish brown, just a very dark espresso brown. Good God, I'm like all in my own way. That's why it's nice to have an actual cameraman when you're on set, you know? They can say, oh, move your hand left, move your hand right. See, now I can tell I'm covering there. Okay, application, not terrific. We'll work on that. Let's give it a little smudge, shall we? Maybe we'll get a little bit more eye makeup in there. This is a slight angled brush with a very flat, crisp edge. And I'm gonna go in with this darker brown. I love the idea of a beautifully cut crease. I just don't think it's in my skill set. My answer whenever I do something not well is to smudge it out and make it look like it's on purpose. Haven't added anything to this brush, I'm just smudging. A little darker on one eye than the next. I feel like the eyebrows are fine because I'm not going with a really heavy made up look today. And I think we're ready to put on some mascara. And I'm gonna have to look around and find if the cats ran off with my cruelty-free drugstore mascara. Since I'm not using that, I'm going to use my It Cosmetics Superhero. Try a little of that, a little more of that blush in just that slightly darker tone. The e.l.f. palette. This is a pretty palette. It's not very pink, it's more peachy in tone. Really nice for summer. And I think we're good. Well, thank you for being patient with my experiment using 2 cameras here in my own home studio. Like I said, it's a learning process. I have discovered that I do block myself from the camera every time I use that hand, and I am severely right-handed. So this may take some adjusting. You know, it's fun breaking out of your comfort zone. It's always nice to learn new things, even if it's something that you kind of already know. You want to shake it up and experiment and try it in a different way. And once we learn how to do it, may increase the production value a lot. And my hope is that if I can keep having Bear edit for me, I can get more videos made. Wouldn't that be nice? So I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I certainly intend to. I love you bunches, and I will talk to you very soon.